Friends, good afternoon. I'm Advocate Praveen Kumar, presenting this live stream, live broadcast from Large Chambers District Court Complex. Today, as you can see, that the topic is slightly interested. Briefly, I would like to present that as we commonly witness that nowadays there is a procedural in our. So we understand what is this procedural harassment is. Procedural harassment is that first you understand what is the system of justice. System of justice is based on constitutional principles, established procedures within which the justice is required to be done, dispense to the public at large. There are two sets of laws. One is the substantive law, another is the procedural law, also known as adjective law. What happens uh, if your right is violated? Suppose if you have some right and it is violated, then it is determined by the substantive law. Now, you want redressal of this violation. Naturally, you will go to the court of law and you will say that my this right is violated. Therefore, enforce it. Give me the redressal, remedy, correct it, restore this right with me. Now, what the court does, court dispense justice through the procedural law. Procedures are applied to administer justice. And if these procedures are not applied, then what happens? Naturally, you will not get your redressal. Your redressal will be delayed and delayed. Procedures also say that certain case is to be disposed of within certain time. But we have witnessed this thing in law courts that it does not happen. never happens. What is the reason behind? After all, why the case is not disposed of within certain time, which is prescribed? A very simple answer to it is that we fail to apply procedures, enforce procedures which are required to be enforced to shorten the dispute, to shorten the time, but it is not done. This is why people, litigant, they are dragged years together in law courts. And when they reach to a certain point, certain saturation point, when they themselves, litigants themselves, they start understanding that nothing is going on, nothing is being happened to their cases. And their cases are inordinately are being delayed. Then they start feeling the heat of the procedures. This is what the procedural harassment is. No, we I cite one more other example of it is when in our criminal justice system, FIR is lodged, fake FIR is lodged, as nowadays it is happening, that people are facing both common as well as the special VIP people. They are facing the heat of fake FIRs, fake cases being registered against them, and uh, they are put to procedural harassment uh, for so long. Some are detained. Recently, the journalists were detained, honest journalists on fake FIRs were detained behind the bars, and now they are facing procedural harassment because the, whether the FIR is fake or not, it is to be established later. But at that particular point of time, when FIR is fake FIR is registered, one has to face the heat of the procedures. You have to move for bails. You may get bail and you may not get bail. Whether that FIR is fake or not fake, that is to be proved later. But at this very juncture, you have to face, you are put to the harassment, procedural harassment. This is another sort of harassment which is underway in our country, that fake sort of uh, cases, criminal cases are being registered against people who dissent to the present establishment or who are not following their ways or who are exposing them. And then such people have to face the harassment of procedures. which are so lengthy and inconcluded procedures. And when you face this harassment, then you go to the court of law. There you have to face the procedural harassment. So this sort of harassment that we are facing in the system today is really, really very embarrassing, distorted, and above all, unconstitutional move in the system, which needs to be prevented by uh, higher courts, courts like high courts and supreme courts. So these two sorts of harassments, one by filing fake cases against people who dissent to the uh, ruling establishment, uh, who are not going their ways, they have to face this procedural harassment. And when such cases facing that harassment, when such cases are taken up by the courts, law courts, and here they have to face, people has to face procedural harassment, which ultimately adds to the long pendency of the cases, both on the civil side and on the criminal side. And then our managers have to categorize the long pending cases, some to the senior citizens, some to the old people, new. So this harassment, procedural harassment, ultimately adds to the pendency of the cases. And this system is going on, and going on. It is not abated yet. Nobody is caring about this, but this is happening in the system. So uh, you have to be very cautious uh, in such things. Otherwise, you will have to face the heat of procedural harassment, which is really embarrassing. Not for me, for others, but for everyone in this country. This is all unconstitutional. We have to stop it. We have to take some very stringent measures to stop this. Hope you will understand what I said. Thank you. Have a good day.